Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peace that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to a marvelous Monday. Really excited to get the week started with y'all. We have some phenomenal guests in the building. I get the pleasure of talking to Chelsea Riddick-Most, the Director of Programs and Events over at Seattle Center. And later on in the show, we got Khai in the building. We're going to be talking all about her work as an athlete, an advocate, and a healer. So I'm so excited to have both of them joining me this Monday. But of course, you know, we got to take a beat, y'all, because it is the top of the show, right? So it's a perfect time for you to participate with us. Go ahead and tag and share this stream with folks who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on The Day with Trae. If you can't watch our TV show, we surely have you covered. You can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. You'll find me on whichever platform is your favorite. All right, sound good? All right, thanks so much for helping us grow by sharing the stream, y'all. It really is appreciative from all of us here at The Day with Trae, and especially myself. But of course, up next, I actually have the pleasure of talking to Chelsea Riddick-Most. What's up, Chelsea?
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm really excited about being on your show.
Well, I'm glad that you could be here. I mean, this is a staple in the city when we're talking about Seattle Center. So many different events that go on there every year, all year round. And I'm glad you could be here to give us some details on some upcoming events. But before we get into it, I always love to ask a little bit about your background. You know, what got you to find yourself at Seattle Center in such a prestigious role?
Well, I have to tell you, I grew up in the CD. Went to Garfield High School. Always got to rep Garfield High School.
Come on, Bulldogs.
Come on, Bulldogs. Yeah, Bubble and Brown Sugar yesterday. But more than anything, I have was, brought up in the CD as being a part of the community. My father passed away when I was 12, and so I was raised by a single mom who was a big advocate of bridging people and bringing people together. She herself is from Mississippi. Her mother was a freedom rider. First cousin was Medgar Evers. So I couldn't help but to be a part of something bigger. So when I left Seattle to leave for college and went to Howard University, I majored in communications and really got into production, television production, because I wanted to be a part of change. Mm-hmm. And so there I had left there and worked at the NBA, National Basketball Association, where I traveled around the world. So fortunate, had the opportunity to meet Nelson Mandela, and left there, went and worked as a freelance producer, music video producer, and had the pleasure of working with Hype Williams and some other up-and-coming talents. We were just grinding together, and then found myself at Nickelodeon, at Viacom CBS. And when the pandemic hit, I knew that it was an opportunity for me to do something different. And doing something different meant coming back home. And I always reflect on what a friend of mine said to me. She said, there's all this talent that comes from Seattle, leaves and shares it with everyone else. And at the moment that this opportunity presented itself, I said, well, this is an opportunity for me to come back and share those talents.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, well, let me just say, not only, you go to Garfield, I went to Garfield. You go to Howard, I went to Howard. You did communications, I did communications. I'm loving this story because the thing is I think what I love about asking folks that question is you find the things that were rooting you along the way, right? Mm-hmm. All of these different roots that you were connected to in terms of being planted to certain elements in your life and times in your life, which really brings to light so much of why you're such a perfect person for this role here at Seattle Center. Because I think it does have to come from something within. So thank you so much for coming back. And you are 100% right. Folks always ask me, why am I still here? And that's really what it is. It's not as if I'm not open to going other places, but I understand the beauty of being rooted here and highlighting these amazing stories. But tell us a little bit about the greatness that's going on at Seattle Center. I mean, we have experienced, those of us who are Seattleites, we've experienced a wide range of ways that Seattle Center has continued to be a staple in our community. What are some of those things that you've been excited about since you've been there?
Well, let me just say, first of all, as a kid, I spent weekends and I spent holidays riding my bike down with my cousins to the Seattle Center in my Mary Janes, in my crayons, in my baggy pants, spent a lot of time at the Seattle Center. And the thing about the Seattle Center and me is that I have an emotional connection with the Seattle Center. And so I want to do the same. I want to make sure that everybody feels welcome. I also want to make sure that we feel welcome because it was such a big part of me growing up. It's where we gathered. I want to make it more of a community gathering space. And when I stepped onto the campus, I realized that there were more visitors from out of town walking the campus than there were people who were just from around the community. So my goal, my mission, my vision is to make it more of a community gathering place. And so it starts from the inside with my team. And if we feel it, then it's very easy for the folks that are visiting the campus to feel it. One of the big things that we did last year to really drive that initiative is to bring Blast Fest. The first Afrobeats concert on Seattle Center's campus. It was amazing working with DJ Bobby Blast. He had been circling the perimeter for some time. He and I connected, and I knew right away that his goals and his values were aligned with mine. He is supported by his family. And when I saw how they were digging in and helping and doing, I was like, oh yeah, this is something I definitely want to be aligned with. So second year, it's coming back. I am so excited. July 27th, he will be here. Tickets have already gone on sale. So I want people to support what he's doing because this is a transactional relationship, right? If we bring it, I need you all to show up and support it. I need you to post it on your social media and let people know that we're in the house.
Yeah, I love this. He came on my show and it was so great to connect with him. And honestly, Blast Fest, when he was talking about, the drive for it and why, right? Like he has been a DJ all over the world, and he was like, we need something here. And it's so great because you've opened up Seattle Center to be that place, because honestly, it hasn't felt accessible over the years. And so I think as people start to think about, okay, where can I host my event? It's important that they actually think about Seattle Center as that place. One of the things you said that really struck me was it being a place of community. What I understand, Seattle Center is always going to be a visitor destination. It just is. You got the space, you got the Glass Museum. It's always going to be like a space where folks want to come from out of town. But what I love is that with your vision, they can come from out of town and actually experience community. That's the beauty of it. What are some of these dope events we have coming up this year other than Blast Fest, Chelsea?
So Blast Fest is coming, and then the Bite of Seattle, of course, is returning, and we're really excited about this. This was going into its 40th year. I recognize some of the hurdles that that people faced last year. So we're working to correct some of those things. I want technology not to be something that hinders people. I want it to be something that helps people. So we have the bite. The other thing is we have Festival Sundiata that will be in August on the campus. And, you know, I would encourage people to also attend and participate. Last year, there was a huge turnout, and we were excited about that. But beyond the music that happens at the mural stage, if you go into the armory, there's history there. You know, there's literature there. There's photography there. There's, you know, there are merchants. There's entrepreneurs. So there's food that's there. Just around the corner, we also have the Spirit of Africa. That's going to be May 11th. So I encourage people to also participate and come and support. The other thing that I would encourage people to do, we have fitness. We have yoga that is on Wednesdays at 5:30, and at 6:30 on Wednesdays we also have Zumba. So I would encourage people to come down and participate. All the festivals are a part of our Festall series, which is a series of 24 free cultural festivals. So it is really, really important. Living in New York, I was able to walk down the street and you can get stimulated, but this is our way of being able to provide that stimulation to people in the city. I would also encourage people to just, if you have children, to come down and just enjoy the playground. Artists at Play. It's a fairly new playground. I want people to come down and enjoy everything that we have to offer. In August, we start the beginning of August, we start Movies at the Mural at 9 o'clock on Fridays. Every year, I make sure that we find a movie that is specific to African American culture, that maybe didn't get the exposure that it should have in some of the bigger theaters. Some of them are controversial. Some of them, you know, I want to pique the interest in the conversation. So every movie that we show should inspire conversation.
Well, this is really interesting because, I mean, in order to pull all of these events off, you have to have partnerships. I want to hear more about how you're reaching the event producers who say, I see Seattle Center as the place for this event. How are you making those connections with folks in community to have these amazing events take place there?
I am out there talking to people. I'm attending events. You know, a lot of people, my mom says, all you do is go to events. But I go to events because I want to observe. You know, part of what I would like to preserve, Seattle is really becoming a playground where there's so much happening in this city. And there's a lot of big national brands that are coming to the city. What I want to try to preserve in my mission at Seattle Center is to make it a space for up and coming producers. For, you know, you're not too small, but you're not too big. But what I would like to do is bring you in and allow you to grow into your greatness and your bigness. So you will see me out, and I'm working when I'm out. I'm working, but I'm enjoying it also, and I'm really looking for young up and coming producers so that they can grow at the Seattle Center.
Amazing mission, Chelsea. Well, I'm so glad you were here to give us all these details. Of course, if folks are looking to connect, learn more, maybe there's some of those are young producers out there, look right there, let them know how they stay plugged in.
Okay. Everybody go to seattlecenter.com. That is our website. We continue to provide information on our website about all of the events that happen on the Seattle Center, at Seattle Center, seattlecenter.com.
Oh, absolutely. Chelsea, thanks so much for being with me today and spending some of your event time with me here on The Day with Trae.
It is an absolute pleasure. I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Y'all, I told you it was going to be a marvelous Monday, and that got us off on the right kick here. So excited for my next guest. Up next, we got Khai Bhagwandin. I hope I said it right. Oh, look, she's shaking her head. Okay, we got Khai coming up next, y'all. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned after this short break. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Looking for laughs? Looking for love? Fast Talking Figaro has got you covered. Toe-tapping melodies, lively staging, and colorful costumes. Don't miss The Barber of Seville, May 4th through 19th at McCaw Hall. Tickets at seattleopera.org.
What's up, everybody? Trae Holiday here with a special announcement. Something sexy for the city is coming to our town, Tacoma Dome, May 3rd. You want to get your tickets today because you want to see Ashanti, Monica, Maya, Kiki Wyatt, and Anne Marie. Y'all, I have the pleasure of emceeing this phenomenal concert. Join me and get your tickets today for an epic performance from these R&B divas.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Khai. What's up, Khai?
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm so glad we could finally get you on. I know we had talked a while ago about you coming on, but you've been doing some phenomenal things in community, and it's really great to kind of have you here so we can shed some light on what you all are doing in snow sports. Before we kind of get to it, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I grew up a little southeast of Olympia. I'm mixed. I'm Indo-Caribbean, Indo-Guyanese, and Eastern European. My family lives in a very rural area in Washington, so grew up kind of as, you know, me and my brothers, siblings, and my dad were the only people of color. So when I got into snowboarding, I was very surrounded by people that didn't look like me, and I think that was a big influence in me wanting to build more community. My background is also, I'm an acupuncturist by trade, so have a background in healing as well, a lot of sports medicine, and a little bit of activism in my background as well.
Well, absolutely. I mean, when we were talking, it surprised me how you're able to intertwine all the things you do around advocacy, being an athlete, and healing. Really, you found a way to kind of allow them to all merge into like this amazing amalgamation of all the things you are. So tell us a little bit about how you've experienced the snow sports industry. As you said, it doesn't have a lot of diversity. Tell us a bit more about some of the things you've experienced in that realm.
Yeah, so my whole journey with the Change Collective, which is the community organization that I've created, really came out of a bad experience that I had within snowboarding. Around 2020, brands started to really want, target people of color and want more diversity for their marketing, which was really exciting at first until I realized how performative a lot of these brands were, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing now, a few years down the road after all of this kind of like awakening of, and you know, basically just people of color being trending. Yeah. And unfortunately, we actually now see less funding for athletes of color than before 2020. So I was an ambassador for Burton Snowboards, and they basically made a lot of promises that weren't kept. And it resulted in me really realizing that there is a lot of community here. I made a post on social media, and a lot of people ended up reaching out to me, people that used to work at Burton, and told me about their experiences within racism within the company, and then just a lot of people who reached out to me in solidarity. And it made me really realize that we have a really awesome community here. We don't see that in the mainstream. And so my goal is really to, with the Change Collective, is to find other athletes or people that are wanting to navigate the industry and just are having a hard time, and we can come together and support each other. There's a lot of really cool organizations that are focused on getting people of color into the outdoors. We have the Edge Outdoor, we have the Service Board, we have SOS Outreach. There's just a lot of different organizations that are really focused on youth and getting people training and into that, but there's not really any support for athletes that are already here and trying to navigate those systems. So yeah, that's kind of what I've tried to do with the Change Collective.
Well, this is really important because you're right. I mean, there's not enough support out there for those who are already in it. And I think there's a lot of things that really gear themselves towards youth. And I start thinking about, well, but what about the adults? Because they're in need of support too. And then you also have people who are interested in things, but have never really had the pathway to join them or to participate. And I know that money oftentimes is a huge barrier. I mean, you're thinking about, snow sports isn't cheap, right? So tell us about some of the ways that you kind of foresee in the industry breaking down some of those barriers to open up participation.
Yeah, so as athletes, it's really about sponsorships, right? And so you have to cater towards brands to have funding to do the projects that you want to do. So what I want to do is kind of call on the community a bit, where I've actually started a GoFundMe and do different events with donations and raffling off and just raising money through my own projects to help support athletes that that aren't able to get some of that funding from brands because they're not marketable, or that funding is allocated differently. So it is something that's really hard, and what I really want to do is try to work outside of the capitalistic structure of catering to brands and try and build something outside of that where we can support each other. And I know that once we show our authentic stories and ourselves and our culture, that brands are going to want to support that because people are so hungry for that. It's something that's just gets so lost within the capitalistic structure. And so that's kind of my angle, is I want to share our stories of who we are and our authentic stories.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we'll see the shift.
It's so important too, because I think, oftentimes you see athletes for what they can do. And not always for who they are. And so I love that you're taking that approach to be able to shine a light on the authenticity of athletes and also, really creating the supportive structure. You talked a bit about what you experienced when you put that post out there, but now that you've, started the Change Collective, tell us a bit more about how folks are finding the support that they need through your efforts and through the organization.
Yeah, so we've done a couple trips. That's one thing that is really difficult to do as an athlete because these trips are really expensive to just travel. And if we want to do film projects, stuff like that, because representation is so important too, so that other people can see and be like, hey, I can do that too. And it really creates a ripple effect when we showcase our talent. And there's, these stereotypes that people of color are like not good at outdoor sports, which is obviously not true because there's a lot of really, really amazing athletes. So we were able to raise some money through some fundraisers we did last fall, and we just got back from Alaska, and we did a hut trip. We saw the Northern Lights, and we had such an incredible crew, and it was just really inspiring to see people come together who haven't really even ridden together and just seamlessly just feel so comfortable together. And especially when you're in a big space like Alaska or in the mountains where there's, a lot of unknowns and a lot of risk you're taking, it's really important to feel comfortable and safe in those spaces, which a lot of times, when you're trying to prove yourself or with people you don't feel comfortable with, it can, you don't progress. First of all, you're not really set up to succeed. So just seeing our crew just ride amazingly, and yeah, it was just really, really special to be in that space with a group of people that are all like-minded and really get each other and understand the what we go through in this very white male dominated sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this kind of support is key, I think, in terms of longevity, but also in terms of others feeling comfortable in, to participate or to join or to enter, snow sports. And so I love that you've taken on this very interesting niche. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you're really looking forward to as the Change Collective grows?
I'm really looking forward to just growing the community, and I think that's something we've already seen such a big shift in snow sports, and it's really just creating these tidal waves of community. And I really want to just go on more trips and create more opportunities for athletes to hopefully, maybe go heli skiing or cat skiing or something that seems so unattainable when we're just a single person. But when we get together and we can create these opportunities, then we can really progress.
Oh, Khai, well, I just want to thank you for the work you're doing in snow sports. I think this is so key as you look to, because it's going to have to be an intentional effort to diversify that industry. So thank you so much for all the work you're doing there to bring this community together. Of course, if folks out there are like, I want to join, I want to connect, I want to learn, look right here, let them know how they tap in.
Yeah, so it really is open for everyone. I always encourage people to reach out, because one great thing about social media is that we really can connect with people from all over and create a larger community. So my personal Instagram is @KhaiAnn, KhaiAnn, and then the Change Collective is the.change.collective, and I have a link tree on there that I keep updated, and there is an application on there to apply for some of the scholarships. So I really try to pair groups together that are similar levels, similar goals with their riding, and put together hopefully a lot more trips in the future. So please reach out, and even if it's just a message, DM, and we can build our community together.
Right on, Khai. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's a pure pleasure to hear more about something I'm not familiar with. So I really appreciate you coming on, shedding some light on this. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Y'all, oh man, this marvelous Monday just grew on us. Of course, I get to wrap all this marvelousness up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Let's start the show.
Here on Back to Besa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region, and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Besa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. What a great Monday to start off our week. Huge shout out to my guests, Chelsea and Khai, both of them doing work in their own ways to open up the doors for others to participate, not only with the events happening at Seattle Center, but also in the snow sports industry. I mean, two very different things, but you know me, I'm just inspired because what they did was they showed us that they both have something to offer by participating, by bringing their brilliance out for others to experience. That's what I'm always encouraging y'all to do. You know, you too can be a part of the solution, as my guests here have shown you that they are today. No matter what it is that you're passionate about, when you start sharing it with others, we all benefit. Thanks so much for watching today, y'all. You know, we're going to be rocking and rolling all week right here on the Day with Trae. And for me, until tomorrow at 11 a.m., y'all, peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.